Alright guys, if you want to learn how to make better fan films, and if you want to learn what to do and not to do in your fan films, then make sure to watch until the end of this video, because this video I will be giving you guys fan film tips. Before I give you guys fan film tips, just to make sure you guys are aware, I'm definitely no professional. I'm not trying to pretend like I'm professional, but if you guys like my movies and if you guys like what I do whenever we're making fan films, then you guys should probably stick around to the end of this video, because this entire video I'll be giving you guys what to do, what to do and definitely not to do, because there's a lot of not to do's. I've been watching a couple fan films lately and yeah guys, we need some tips. But anyways, let's get this thing. Okay, our first thing is very important. This thing is actors. Yup. You might be like, why is actors important? Just bear with me right now. Actors is actually very important whenever you come into fan films. Most of these fan filmmakers are younger people. So whenever it comes to younger people, of course, they're scared to ask people around. But to be honest, guys, I think it's gotten so bad to the point where like 90% of these kids' fan films are just them inside of the room and some friend that's in a completely different country recording themselves and then just collabing all the videos. Of course, it's cool to collab with other YouTubers, but whenever majority of your movie is just somebody that's in a completely different state talking back and forth with you and fighting each other, and you're just swinging at the camera and it shows them get punched. Let me just show you an example on how bad it looks. I'm gonna beat you up, Green Goblin. Anyways, guys, I just made that terrible scene to show you guys how bad it looks whenever fan film creators do this. So please do not do this, guys. I know it's scary asking for actors. I literally struggle with it. Looking for actors is so hard, but it has to happen. You have to have at least 2 or 3 people, 3 other actors. If it's just you by yourself in a room, and you're recording yourself and then you're recording some friend in a different country who is obviously in a completely different room than you, then it just looks awful, guys. Like, come on. It's good to have other YouTubers collab and stuff. I plan on doing it eventually, but like, don't do it to the point where majority of your movie is just you recording yourself in a room and some other kid somewhere else is recording themselves in a room. So finding actors is very important. However strategy you need, whatever motivational videos you need to watch, whatever to boost your confidence. I don't have confidence, so finding actors for me is really hard, but you gotta do it. If you'll never be able to know whether or not they'll say no if you don't ask, so there's nothing you gotta lose. But anyways, find actors, guys, because it just looks really bad if you guys do this. I'm just being honest. At first I didn't really want to mention this inside the video because I thought it would be too harsh, but it's just a harsh world we live in. People aren't going to take your videos seriously, to be honest. You're not going to really grow in views. I'm not going to lie. I've never seen a fan film where they use that strategy the entire movie, and like the majority of their movie is just that, or it's just them. They just change their shirt every single scene. So it's not even, sometimes it's just the same guy. Like, it's just really bad, guys. I'm not going to lie, you're not going to grow. It's just not going to happen unless you change your strategy. Anyways, the next thing that is very important is VFX. I don't really like using VFX. I prefer practical effects, but for some scenes I do use VFX. And sometimes my VFX does look pretty wonky. Not too bad, but it looks pretty wonky. But something I do think, please don't overuse green screen. This thing will actually be a collaboration with VFX and this tip will be a collaboration between VFX and finding sets. Yep. Finding sets, I recommend you looking around sets. If you're looking for a school to shoot in, either shoot inside of your film inside of your school during tutoring hours, if you guys have those, or whenever, or if you get permission from your teachers, or you can go to a college if they let you in. Just find an empty room in a college space and just record in there. That's what I've been doing for Spider-Man Great Responsibility. We've just been going to college and they're fine with it. So I would recommend that. And don't overuse green screen. This is why I'm talking about VFX and sets. I notice a lot of younger fan film creators, they overuse green screen so much and they use it for unnecessary. Like, instead of finding a classroom, they would just green screen a classroom behind them. And I can understand if you can't find a classroom, okay? I won't be too harsh on this one. But at the same time, I would rather have you set up in your living room or set up in your room and at least try to make your room look like a classroom or try to make it look like a living room. I'd rather have a bad set. People would rather have a bad looking set than have some bad green screen where it's obvious. It looks like a Zoom meeting. That's how bad it looks. It looks like a Zoom meeting where you have a virtual background. That's how bad it looks, guys. Like, don't do that. Like, they literally, I've seen some people green screen themselves outside. Like, just go outside. Go outside. It's sunny. Go outside. Why? But that's just a recommendation if you guys want to do that. Okay, fight scenes. Yep, I know you guys are worried about fight scenes. I'm not a professional choreographer, or however you say it. I'm not a professional, okay? But I did get some tips from L. Bully Carson himself. That's why Spider-Man Great Responsibility had a huge boost in quality whenever it comes to fight scenes. Then Spider-Man Last Web, I did notice some people were like, oh, Spider-Man Great Responsibility, the fight scenes were immaculate. But if you guys want good fight scenes, of course, you're going to need more than one actor. Don't just be swinging at the camera where some friend in a completely different room is getting hit, or it's just you in a different costume getting hit. Just don't do that. Find actors, choreograph the fight scene. I recommend you don't have to choreograph it like the days before. I mean, if you really want to look really good, then choreograph it days before. But what I do is I just write down all of the moves down, and then before we actually shoot the fight, we just practice before I start recording. Then I start recording, and then I start swinging. Camera movement, of course, use the technique whenever you're punching in front, and then pretend like so. And then it's kind of layers. Fight scenes are layered. This is actually a really good tip. But whenever you're layering a fight scene, you punch in front of the person you're pretending to hit, and they have to just have a really good reaction, so that actually looks like you're punching them in the face. Let me just show you guys an example. Anyways, that was just a quick example of how to layer a fight scene. It's used a lot inside of professional films. It's used a lot inside of Spider-Man Great Responsibility, and it's just really easy to do. But yeah. But anyways, our next topic that we will be discussing is writing. Yep, writing a fan film. Don't make your lines too cringe. I did notice that about fan films. They just say too cringe lines. An example from one of my fan films. I don't want to make fun of you guys, so I'm not going to show any of your guys' clips in case you guys did something like that. But one of my fan films that I messed up on, not the movie wasn't that bad, but I'm talking about the line right here where it says this. Yes, Hourglass Films mentioned this. Whenever villains see Spider-Man, don't make them say, uh-oh, it's Spider-Man and stuff like that. It just makes it seem cringe, like it's a 60s cartoon. But write out your lines as if like they're actual people talking inside of this world where Spider-Man lives in. So that it just makes it seem more real and more fresh and just more entertaining to watch. But don't make it seem too cringe. Also, if you're looking for stories and you can't look for stories, don't force your stories. Actually make your stories make sense, and make sure that like Spider-Man has character development, but make sure your stories make sense. For example, you can take inspiration from a bunch of movies, from a bunch of comics, and just merge it up into a good story that blends well. Don't force a storyline. Don't say, okay, I want Green Goblin in this film, so you try to force Green Goblin and make the entire plot. He just randomly appears and he's a villain. Don't do that. Make it so that Green Goblin was actually set up. It actually makes sense why he's in the movie, and so that it's actually really good. Next thing is with the budget, guys. This is probably gonna be the final tip because I don't really have much to say, but next thing is with the budget. Guys, I'm a broke teenager. I don't even have that much money, so the thing is, you could either start a donation thing. We were able to make some money off of donations for our next movie, or you could either just ask family members, or if you have a job, then you're able to make some money, even though it might not be that much money. But with your budget, don't overuse your money. Don't waste your money, because like you might waste it on something you don't really need. But at the same time, don't just buy a Spider-Man t-shirt and buy a random mask. Like, it just looks really lazy and bad. Actually buy something that looks decent enough for the movie. And I'm not saying this to criticize you guys or doing it. I'm just saying it because the audience, the YouTube audience, they don't make fan films. They don't know what it feels like to work on a fan film, work hard. So, like, if they're random, the general audience that are clicking on your movies, they just want to see a good movie. So if your movie looks really, really bad and lazy, then they're going to click off of it. That's just the harsh reality. Even if you worked hard on it, you have to focus on making it as good as you can. And this is just some tip, guys, like, don't, I'm broke, I understand, but like, if you're just wearing a t-shirt, I'm telling you now, unless you design the t-shirt to where it looks like a Spider-Man homemade suit, it's just gonna look like a kid with the costume. But yeah, anyways, from actors, action, to budget, to all the writing and stuff, these are like my 4 big issues that fan film creators have been lacking recently. But I think hopefully this video will help you guys improve, and hopefully this video will help you guys, inspire you guys to go out there and make your own fan film. Anyways, I know it's hard, guys, but this is just the hard tips. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope these tips helped you and opened your eyes a little bit. And anyways, I'll talk to you guys next time.